From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Good morning and thanks for starting your day with us. Today is Saturday, August 2nd. I'm Max Darrow. Here's a look at what we've got at the top of the rundown today. San Francisco is coming alive this weekend with the music of the Grateful Dead. Tens of thousands of Deadheads from all over the country are here in the city for a 3-day concert series to celebrate the band's 60th anniversary. It's headlined by Dead and Company, featuring the 2 remaining members of the Grateful Dead plus John Mayer. The second of 3 shows is set for tonight. A federal judge is blocking the Trump administration's cancellation of LGBTQ-related health research grants. The judge in Maryland says such directives are designed to, quote, focus and target LGBTQ plus members. The American Association of Physicians for Human Rights said in their lawsuit that the NIH engaged in unlawful discrimination. The judge plans to issue a written ruling in the coming weeks. Investigators in Sonoma County have found more explosives inside of the home of a Petaluma man suspected of arson. Gregory Clemmy was arrested on federal forest land. Law enforcement says explosives found at the scene and in his car. And then investigators found 3 more completed explosive devices at his home, as well as several pounds of materials that are used to make them. He's currently in jail on $1 million bail. First Alert meteorologist Zoe Mintz joins us now. Zoe, we are in full force fogist on this Saturday, August morning, aren't we?
Yes, we are. It's what we expect this time of year, but
Sure.
you know, many people are waiting for a pattern change and it's arriving this upcoming week. So if you love the fog, enjoy it this weekend because there is going to be a little bit warmer weather, a little bit more sunshine, and even more sunshine along the coast, which is going to be nice for some beach days in our future. That's what I've honestly been missing is sunshine along the coast, but I'll let you know where you can expect that this afternoon as well. Right now, though, it's not sunny anywhere along the coast. It's foggy all across San Francisco, heading to our Inland Valley communities. Those temperatures pretty mild right now, sitting in the mid to upper 50s, very normal for this time of year. It's going to be normal this afternoon as well. That's kind of going to be the name of the game this weekend. This early morning fog decreasing our visibility. So again, keep that in mind if you're heading out early this morning. Daly City, Pacifica, that really thick fog that you normally see this time of year, you're going to want to give yourself some extra commuting time. The fog is going to be peeling back by the early afternoon hours, and it's going to stay pretty sunny throughout today. So if you're heading inland, sunny skies. If you're heading along the coast, like maybe you're heading to Dead and Company or going down to Golden Gate Park, it's going to be likely cloudier for most of the day. Not to say a few peaks of sunshine aren't possible. It's still going to be in the upper 50s, though. It's still going to be a bit chillier out there. So make sure you dress accordingly. And if you maybe want to enjoy a little bit more sunshine today, just head on inland where we're going to be seeing those high temperatures getting into the upper 80s to low 90s once again this afternoon. I'll let you know when even warmer weather will arrive, though, coming up in my full forecast. Max, back to you.
A lot of yellow and red on that map. This weekend, Deadheads are taking over San Francisco and Golden Gate Park. The next couple of days will be full of tributes to mark the 60th anniversary of the Grateful Dead. The Dead have some deep roots in San Francisco. The band formed in the 60s in Haight-Ashbury. Some people say the city really is their spiritual home. For a lot of fans, this celebration this weekend goes way beyond the music.
They've laid out on how we should live our lives, how we should treat each other, like the misfits of society. It's just, it's helped me get through. It's helped me survive a lot of messed up situations.
Dead and Company is expected to bring 60,000 people to the park every day. From painted Muni buses to Jerry Garcia's very own street, the love for the Dead certainly lives on in the city. San Francisco renaming a street in honor of the legendary Grateful Dead frontman Jerry Garcia. On Friday, Mayor Daniel Lurie, Garcia's daughter, and many others marked what would have been his 83rd birthday. They renamed part of Harrington Street between Alameda and Mission, just steps away from where he once lived. Today is also Jerry Day, with performances at the Jerry Garcia Amphitheater in McLaren Park. Haight Street has been transformed into Shakedown Street this weekend. That's where Deadheads can pick up a lot of psychedelic art, music, clothes, and merch. And the Dead are really bringing some extra life to small businesses in the Haight. Some small business owners say their sales are up 20%. Listen.
It's catapulted like crazy. All the Deadheads are in here spending a bunch of money. It's great.
I've actually extended my hours, opened early. I'm definitely going to stay open late. Feels like the city is really coming back to life, which is nice.
Several small business owners told us they had to bring in extra staff and stocked up well ahead in time of this concert weekend with a bunch of extra inventory to prepare. And even if you're not partying with the crowds, there is, a couple things you got to keep in mind. Roads are going to be closed around Golden Gate Park all weekend, including Middle Drive and some stretches of JFK Drive. It's the beginning of what's going to be a very busy week for the park as well. Outside Lands starts next Friday. Streets are going to totally reopen and be back to normal by August 20th. August is Transgender History Month, but this year there's a bit of a cloud hanging over the trans community as the Trump administration continues to scale back transgender rights. A show of pride and defiance filled San Francisco's Civic Center on Friday as a sea of people in blue, pink, and white marked the start of the month. Community leaders celebrated progress, but they also noted challenges during President Trump's second term, including rollbacks of transgender military service, gender-affirming care, and federal recognition. Activists say these setbacks mirror a painful history, but they refuse to back down.
We were getting rights. We were getting recognized. Medicare included surgeries. Other transgender health care was covered. Insurance companies were covering it. And now we're losing all that. And so right now we're in a period of retrenchment.
San Francisco was the first city in the nation to declare August as Transgender History Month. Meantime, California is suing the Trump administration over its efforts to limit gender-affirming care. California Attorney General Rob Bonta is joining more than a dozen AGs challenging a White House memo that said the DOJ would investigate providers who offer gender-affirming care to minors. Bonta says this is a part of a larger attack on the trans community.
Blocking gender-affirming care for young people is just one prong of Trump's campaign to erase the existence of transgender individuals, scare them into the shadows of society, and deny their rights. Since taking office, Trump has issued 8 executive orders and a raft of federal actions that relentlessly target one of the smallest, most vulnerable communities in our nation.
This comes as major hospital groups are changing their policies in response to pressure from the Trump administration. Despite protections in California, Kaiser and Stanford Medicine have halted gender-affirming surgeries for people who are younger than 19 years old. Well, after a long battle, an effort to expand access to a scenic stretch of shoreline in the East Bay is underway. It's an extension of the Point Melotti Bay Trail in Richmond, and it will connect Point Melotti Beach Park to the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge. This was once a site of a U.S. Navy fuel depot. It has been at the center of decades of debate over potential developments and preserving the outdoor space for the public. Last year, the Park District paid $40 million to the Giddyville Rancheria tribe for the land. On Friday, the East Bay Regional Park District broke ground on the new 2.5-mile trail extension.
It's not just about building a trail, it's about creating opportunities for everyone to enjoy the beauty and history of this special place.
The trail extension project will include a 600-foot boardwalk and interpretive panels that highlight natural and cultural history. 130 new California Highway Patrol officers are ready to hit the road. Governor Newsom welcomed the new graduates from the academy on Friday as they joined the ranks of state law enforcement. They completed 26 weeks of training and will report for duty on August 11th all throughout California. Governor Newsom's office says the state is investing billions of dollars in public safety, and this investment is paying off, driving crime rates down in the Golden State. That includes a nearly 12% drop in homicides and a 13% drop in reported car thefts since last year. Just days after the California coast received a tsunami alert, San Mateo County leaders are taking action. Today, the county hosts its 21st annual Disaster Preparedness Day. This is happening at the Event Center in San Mateo. From 10 to 2, you can learn evacuation tips, build a family emergency plan, and learn how to handle a fire extinguisher. Kiddos can check out emergency vehicles and meet first responders as well. All right, the time is 7:09 on this Saturday morning. Let's take a look at some other events happening today around the Bay. The annual Dog Surfing Championship is happening in Pacifica today at Linda Mar Beach. It's always a popular competition. It tends to draw in massive crowds every year to watch the pups catch some of the California waves. If you're not a fan of surfing, well, that's okay. There will be a costume contest and a wellness fair as well, where dogs can get a checkup and a massage. The event organizers encourage anybody to come, whether they have a dog or not. The event starts at 9 o'clock this morning. The Sonoma County Fair gets going today and runs through August 10th. Special events include a rodeo, a monster truck show, and a destruction derby. There's separate tickets for all of those if you want to check those out. Just be aware of that. It is at the Sonoma County Event Center at the Fairgrounds in Santa Rosa. The gates open at noon. In the South Bay, an Obon festival happens today in Palo Alto. Obon is a Japanese tradition that dates back 500 years. It's rooted in celebrating the passing of loved ones and ancestors. Today's event at 1 o'clock, the Palo Alto Buddhist Temple, is open to people of all faiths and all backgrounds. Coming up after the break, the Grateful Dead's first ever performance under the name The Grateful Dead actually happened in the South Bay. Coming up after the break, we head to San Jose for a little Dead history lesson. About 6 decades ago, the band that would become the Grateful Dead got their start in the South Bay. But as you might imagine, memories of that time are just a little bit hazy. Len Ramirez introduces us to a pair of historians who are working to unravel the mystery of where the legendary band actually got its start.
It's all part of the great mystery.
It's the long, strange trip, right, Mark?
Yeah,
Dan Orloff and Mark Purdy are rock fans and South Bay rock historians, and they've spent 2 decades trying to solve a 60-year-old mystery. Where in San Jose did one of rock's greatest bands have their first ever performance as the Grateful Dead? They thought they had it pinpointed here, where 5th Street now dead ends at San Jose City Hall.
Which would be right over there behind these walls, and actually on the side of the current San Jose City Council chambers.
It was December 4th, 1965. The group had just changed their name from the Warlocks to the Grateful Dead, and a friend, counterculture figure Ken Kesey, invited them to play at a house party where he was holding one of his infamous psychedelic acid tests. Purdy, a former sports columnist for the Mercury News, interviewed people who said they were there, and it was inside this large Victorian house.
And for years, that was the accepted thing.
The house once stood at 43 South 5th Street. It was moved in the early 2000s to St. John Street to make way for City Hall. But now a potential rock relic has just surfaced, putting a sour note on the story that it happened here. It is a handmade crayon poster for the acid test party, which was just put up for auction by an anonymous owner who said she removed it from a nearby telephone pole on the night of the party. But the poster lists the party location as 38 South 5th Street, not 43, and the house at 38 burned down decades ago. Dan and Mark have been analyzing photocopies of the original poster ever since it reemerged.
I caught it first because of a news feed. Yeah. And I was like really happy. Oh my God, after 20 years, we're going to see the poster that commemorated 43 South 5th as the acid test.
This is actual physical evidence.
8 seconds later, I see 38, and I called Mark, oh, CRAP, right? And then the journey began. Yeah.
Mark went back to the drawing board and compared old city aerial photos with modern-day maps to see where 38 would have stood. And he literally marched off the plot lines to verify, to his relief, that the new location was still within the City Hall Plaza.
I'm still unraveling the mystery of why the poster says that, and everyone seems to say here, including somebody I've interviewed who was actually at the party.
But what could possibly account for the 2 conflicting locations?
I want to be kind in how I say this. This was 60 years ago, and people were taking LSD.
Even though the 2 houses were once across the street from each other and both locations are still at City Hall, getting the location right matters to rock history and legions of Deadheads.
I encourage anyone who was there that night and remembers anything to come forward and give us more information.
It is a mystery Dan and Mark would like to finally solve soon. Dan is the founder of San Jose Rocks, a rock history group which is now raising money for an historical marker to be dedicated this December 4th, the 60th anniversary of the party and the performance by the Grateful Dead.
It's not just a long, strange trip, it's a wild, strange story, and probably incorporated 40.
The only question is a big one. Where exactly did the trip begin?
Maybe it was in both houses.
That's a fun story. One of the really cool things I think about some of these famous bands that really just transcend generations is that at a concert like this one that we're having this week, and you're going to have Deadheads who've been fans since they were little kids, but you're probably going, I shouldn't say little kids, probably young adults, but you're probably going to have some people maybe who are like totally from a totally different generation who are going to now create a love for the Dead based on a concert they saw in San Francisco in 2025.
I can almost
it's just such a cool thing.
Guarantee there's going to be teenagers there, and then there's going to be 80-year-olds there. It is going to be so much fun. I'm so jealous of all of you who are going out there. It's going to be an amazing day to enjoy some fog and some music. Just to warn you, it's going to be foggy out there. It's going to be chilly. It's going to be what we've been seeing for the past several weeks, if not several months. In fact, it's been a well below normal summer so far all across the Bay Area. In Oakland, since June 1st, the average high temperature has been 68.2 degrees, putting you at the coldest June and July since 1974 and your 10th coldest start to summer on record. San Francisco, it's also been very chilly, average high temperature of 63.7, putting us at our coldest first 2 months of summer since 1999, with only 2 days this season at or above 70 degrees, when normally we see about 14 or 15 at this point in the season. So we have been well below average in San Francisco, and we're likely going to stay slightly below average this afternoon as well, but we are going to be warming up and adding to those 70s in just a couple of days. Warmer weather is just around the corner. So those of you who've been missing that more summer-like heat, it is going to be arriving this upcoming week. Early this morning, though, again, fog is the name of the game. It's filling in all of our valley communities, and it's creating a bit of visibility issues. So keep that in mind if you're heading out early this morning driving. Give yourself an extra minute or two. Downtown San Francisco, you're going to be seeing plenty of sunshine, but head on over to the western half of the city, and it's going to be foggy out there. Foggy down the peninsula as well, and likely not going to take a long drive, though, to see plenty of sunshine. That sunshine is going to be the name of the game inland, and if you want to soak up some sunshine along the coast, head down to Santa Cruz. This is going to be the one place that you're likely going to be seeing a little bit more of that sunshine. It's still going to be chilly out there, though. It's still going to be coastal chill. It's still going to be mid to lower 60s along the coast, and even chillier in the places that are going to be underneath the fog all day. From Half Moon Bay all the way up to Point Reyes, low 60s. We'll be in the mid 70s for areas by the bay, mid to upper 70s to low 80s across our North Bay communities, and even a few low 90s sprinkled across our Inland East Bay. Mid to lower 80s down across the Santa Clara Valley. They'll be a bit more comfortable this afternoon. By tomorrow, it's going to be kind of a rinse and repeat. It might be a degree or two cooler across parts of our North Bay communities, no longer seeing the widespread 80s, but still mid to upper 70s. It's not going to necessarily feel that much cooler, as we are going to be seeing a little bit more cloud coverage sticking along our North Bay communities tomorrow afternoon before a dry pocket begins to move in. And drier air is going to be the name of the game starting next week, and it's likely going to allow those warmer temperatures to arrive into mid next week as well. Our wind gusts today are going to keep us more seasonable and sticking around through tomorrow as well. But again, high pressure is going to be returning by the time that we step out next week. The biggest thing that it's going to do for us this weekend and into early next week is deflecting all of the storms that would normally keep us well below average off and away. As that high pressure continues to build, it's going to keep those temperatures back to above average starting Wednesday and then staying in the 90s all through next week, and likely going to stay that way into the middle parts of August. Our long-range models are pointing at likely above average temperatures through the middle parts of the month. That includes coastal communities as well. So get ready for warmer weather and enjoy the more seasonal conditions.
Coming up after the break, President Trump reacts to weaker than expected jobs numbers by firing the woman who was in charge of putting together and releasing the stats. We'll explain when we come back. Plus, a familiar entity for decades, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, says it will be shutting down in 2 months after it lost its government funding. I'm Max Darrow. This is meteorologist Zoe Mintz, and behind us we've got our beautiful view of August.
Yep, it's foggy out there. It's what we expect this time of year. Although my favorite thing to look at is the beautiful view from above the fog.
Yeah, it wakes you up a little bit instead of like holds you in and says, I just want to stay cozy today.
Exactly. And I have to say, this is one of the few places in the entire world where you get this constant view of fog above the mountain, or on top of the mountains. You get this beautiful, picturesque Gorgeous view. Literally nowhere else in the world has this. And I want everyone who lives in the Bay Area to appreciate the fact that we are chilly in the summertime, because most of the country is not dealing with the chill, and we have been very lucky out there. But if you're planning on heading out to the World Dog Surfing Championship in Pacifica, first of all, I'm jealous. Second of all, you have to bundle up. Early in the morning, it's going to be very foggy out there. It's likely going to be a little bit misty, drizzly as well. Those temperatures in the 50s, but by the afternoon, there might be a few more peaks of sunshine as those highs warm into the low 60s. This afternoon, though, most of us are going to be within a degree or two of normal for this time of year. And we are expecting over the next 6 to 10 days, likely going to be seeing above normal temperatures over the entirety of the state of California. Get ready for warmer weather, and I'll let you know how long it's going to stick around for coming up in just a bit. Back to you, Max.
Thank you for that, Zoe. President Trump has fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics just a few hours after her agency released U.S. job numbers that were lower than expected. President Trump says he does not believe the data. CBS News' Christian Benavides reports.
Weaker than expected job numbers prompted President Trump to fire the commissioner for the Bureau of Labor Statistics, saying without evidence that the numbers are rigged. He sat down for an interview with conservative host Rob Finnerty of Newsmax.
There have been a lot of questions, and we fired her because we didn't believe the numbers today. I don't believe those numbers, I think, because we're doing so well.
Top Democrats slammed the move.
What does a bad leader do when they get bad news? Shoot the messenger. That's just what happened with the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics revealed July's job numbers came in lower than expected and made revisions to May and June, showing hiring was much less than initially reported. The economy added 73,000 jobs last month, which was fewer than expected. May and June were revised downward by over 250,000.
We now have a 25% tariff on this product.
Some businesses, such as pet gear company Baydog, have had to make hard choices in recent months because of tariffs.
The only way for us to survive as a business is to raise prices and probably cut expenses, which means firing people. So tariffs are going to hit small businesses first, and they're going to hit small businesses hardest, and they're going to put a lot of us out of business.
Also contributing to the lackluster jobs report, last month, more federal workers were let go, including more than 1,300 at the State Department, and tech companies continue to scale back.
The company responsible for lots of public television and radio funding, including shows like Sesame Street, says it will be closing its doors after 6 decades of existence. This comes after President Trump signed a bill to slash $1.1 billion from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. The president claims that the CPB is biased against conservative viewpoints. CPB executives say before they close, they will help local stations plan for smaller budgets. Funds for the corporation will run out by September 30th. That's the same day most employees will be let go. A major immigration crackdown staying on a partial hold, for now at least. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals has blocked ICE's controversial roving patrols in Southern California, calling the tactics unconstitutional. A three-judge panel upheld a lower court order blocking ICE from making random street arrests without suspicion. The court rejected government arguments that its enforcement would be hindered, saying agents should already be following the Fourth Amendment. A temporary restraining order covers 7 Southern California counties, halting what critics called shock and awe raids. LA Mayor Karen Bass called this a win for immigrant communities.
That means that people cannot be snatched off the street by masked men like we had experienced for almost 2 months in this city. And I think everybody has seen in the last few weeks, since the temporary restraining order was in place, there has been peace in the city. There has not been masked men riding recklessly up and down the street, snatching people. That has stopped. And this decision tonight upholds that.
A hearing in September could lead to a permanent order. A Miami jury just delivered a big blow to Tesla. The electric car company must pay more than $240 million for a deadly crash linked to its autopilot system. The crash happened in 2019. One person died and another one was hurt. The jury determined that Tesla was partially responsible because of its autopilot system failing. They awarded $200 million in punitive damages plus $43 million more in compensation. One survivor says he is proud for putting a spotlight on the risks of Tesla's technology.
We can be proud that we stood up and that we did everything in our power to help shine light on what's going on with these cars.
Tesla plans to appeal, but the verdict could spark more lawsuits against the company. Country music singer Jeannie, who broke through with the hit Don't Touch Me, has died. Seeley won a Grammy Award with that song in 1967 for Best Female Country Vocal Performance. She went on to join the Grand Ole Opry, becoming the first woman to appear there regularly. Other notable songs include Can I Sleep in Your Arms and Lucky Ladies. Seeley's longtime friend, Dolly Parton, paid tribute on Friday, recalling how they met when they were both young and starting out in Nashville. Jeannie Seeley was 85. Coming up, we'll introduce you to a Peninsula man who's been organizing a community-favorite event for a quarter century, the inspiration behind the surf contest, and why he's hoping someone will carry on this beloved tradition.
I love bringing people together and seeing that they're having a good time.
It really is critical, and he does it with such beautiful spirit and camaraderie.
There is a distinctive surf competition on the San Mateo County coast where you are considered a junior if you're in your 40s. A Pacifica man is celebrating his 25th and final year running this annual contest. Sharon Chin introduces us to this week's CBS News Bay Area Icon Award winner.
Surf's Up.
This is the men's 40 to 49 shortboard.
Thanks to lifelong surfer Roy Ernest.
I love bringing people together and seeing that they're having a good time. It makes me very happy.
The 71-year-old Pacifica resident has organized an annual benefit surf contest for a quarter century.
It welcomes older surfers. You know, the minimum age is 40.
When Roy had entered surf competitions in the 1990s, the older divisions had unflattering labels like over the hill or worse. And that didn't sit well with the gerontologist and social worker.
I've worked in the field of aging for many, many years. You know, so I'm kind of sensitive to ageist stuff, you know.
So he took a friend's advice and launched the Kahuna Kapuna Benefit Surf Contest in 1999. The name means wise elder in Hawaiian culture.
We could create a surf contest that welcomed older people, that treated older surfers with respect.
Kahuna Kapuna turns the tide on what it means to be an older surfer. And that inspired 63-year-old Sylvia Teng, a first-time participant.
How excited are you?
Very excited.
80 surfers competed in men's, women's, and intergenerational categories at Pacifica's Lindamar State Beach this summer, like surfer and sponsor Jeff Bjork of Ocean Culture.
I've been surfing ever since I was a little kid, and for me, it's a way to, stay young, keep yourself young, and be around amazing people.
Yeah, there is a whale right back there.
In fact, Roy has created a special bond in the coastal community. Surfer and sponsor Van Lee of Bomb Waves returns each year.
He just loves being a part of the community, and he wants to bring people together.
We got some serious interest.
A decades-old nonprofit also rides on the competition's success. Kahuna Kapuna is the main fundraiser for Pacifica's environmental family. And its president, Cindy Abbott, says the money helps support coastal protection and education.
It really is critical, and he does it with such beautiful spirit and camaraderie. You know, the Kahuna Kapuna is very low-key, but it's well-loved.
Hi, Chris.
Yeah, hey, Roy. Good to see you.
But Roy has led his last Kahuna Kapuna. He hopes someone else will come on board who's just as stoked about surfing.
It's a wonderful thing, and I just love it.
So for creating Kahuna Kapuna to honor older surfers and benefit Pacifica's environmental family, this week's CBS News Bay Area Icon Award goes to Roy Ernest.
And you can nominate a local hero for a CBS News Bay Area Icon Award. Head to kpix.com/icon. When we come back, we take a look at the efforts to transfer California's electrical grid to clean, renewable sources. We'll introduce you to the scientist who transformed his own home. Says you can do it too. Welcome back. The time is 7:47 on this Saturday morning. In this morning's Project Earth Report, we'll introduce you to a climate scientist who says clean, renewable energy is powering California to levels it has never seen before. So much so that he has put his money and his comfort where his mouth is. Juliette Goodrich introduces us.
On the San Francisco Peninsula, a two-story, 3,200 square foot home with large picture windows. It must cost a fortune to heat and cool this place, right? Wrong.
To run it, it costs nothing. I have not paid an electric bill in 8 years.
Meet Mark Jacobson. Jacobson is a professor of civil and environmental engineering at Stanford University and a climate scientist.
I built this home from scratch. It's all electric. There's no gas on the property.
This is a zero net energy house. The home generates as much energy as it consumes. All the energy generated is clean and renewable with no polluting fossil fuels.
My whole goal of my career has been to understand and solve large-scale air pollution and climate problems through clean renewable energy systems.
The house is a light steel frame structure with airtight insulation. On the roof, solar panels. In the garage, a home battery system.
So I'm generating my electricity with solar on the roof, and that solar generates during the day, peaks at around noon. I use a lot less energy than I produce, and so that extra electricity first gets stored in batteries, and then the excess beyond that gets sent to the grid.
As for California's electric grid, it's undergoing a major transition to clean, renewable sources. Since 2021, about 25,000 megawatts of renewables have been added to the supply. That's enough to power nearly 250,000 homes. According to Jacobson's research, so far this year, California has run on 100% wind, water, and solar, most every day, for an average 5 hours a day.
Wind, water, solar this year has supplied 57.4% of all of California's electricity.
Those calculations don't include homes equipped with solar and battery systems.
These are sufficient to provide electricity for my home from solar for 24 hours a day for most of the year.
In addition, Jacobson uses energy-efficient electrical devices, including an induction stove.
It uses 60% less energy than gas. It boils water in half the time as gas. In each zone of the house, we have what's called a ductless mini-split heat pump.
To cool or heat the house, a heat pump transfers heat between the indoors and outdoors.
They use about 75% less energy than gas heaters because they don't actually create heat, they just move it. It looks just like an old water heater.
Then there's a heat pump electric water heater. The temperature set at 129 degrees.
It's got plenty of water for lots of showers.
Jacobson got a federal tax credit as well as a state subsidy. He's also collecting data on his home to help inform others about a combustion-free future.
First Alert meteorologist Zoe Mintz joins us now and just getting a look at that home. Beautiful home, but I was so drawn to the blue skies above it. Not a single cloud in sight. That is so different than what we're seeing in San Francisco today.
Yeah, but just take a short drive inland and you'll see plenty of sunshine.
Maybe it's one of those days I get to see my family in San Mateo.
Yeah, maybe you want to go take a drive if you've been missing the sunshine. Or downtown San Francisco likely are going to be seeing it, but if you live on the western half of the city, those of us in the Sunset, the Richmond, it's going to be foggy out there all the way down to Pacific and Half Moon Bay. The fog is going to stick around, but it's been foggy just throughout the past summer season. I want to take a look back on July because this is a look at our above or below average high temperatures, and there's only 2 days throughout the entire month of July that we saw above average temperatures in the month or in San Francisco. San Jose, very similar story. There was slightly more above average days, but well more below average days than there were above average. But the good news with below average temperatures, more fog and cloud coverage means that there's more fuel moisture. fuel moisture means that all of what's normally really dry this time of year, this is specifically for the Diablo and Santa Cruz Mountains, there's more moisture in it. So it's harder not only for fires to start, but it's harder for fires to spread as well when our fuel moisture is higher. It is significantly higher than it normally is this time of year. That little gray line just underneath the blue line. Blue is where we are. Gray is what we normally see. Red is the worst ever. So we are above that significantly. And the reason is because we've seen well below average temperatures, but above average temperatures are just around the corner, especially for you inland areas. But even along the coast, there is going to be more sunshine and there is going to be warmer weather on the way by later this upcoming week. This weekend, though, it is going to be very seasonable, very typical for this time of year. Those inland East Bay communities in the upper 80s to low 90s, Santa Clara Valley, mid to upper 80s. Areas by the Bay are going to be in the mid 70s. North Bay communities, upper 70s to mid 80s, kind of just depending on where you're located. And then head on over directly along the coast and you'll be right back into the low 60s with a lot more of that fog and that cloud coverage that, again, is going to stick around. But again, it is all about location. If you're in downtown San Francisco, that's where we're going to be seeing those high temperatures slightly warmer. That's when we're going to be seeing those high temperatures sitting in the upper 60s versus low 60s like you will be on the western half. So those of you heading to Golden Gate Park for the Dead and company, it's going to be a little bit chillier, a little bit foggier. But head down to Santa Cruz if you actually want to enjoy some coastal sunshine this afternoon. That is where likely it is going to be the only spot that is going to be dealing with sunshine. Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be seeing very similar high temperatures to today. Upper 80s across our inland East Bay communities, upper 70s to low 80s down into the Santa Clara Valley, low 60s directly along the coast. Maybe a degree or two cooler tomorrow than today, but overall, it is going to be very, very typical weather until we head out Wednesday of next week. Wednesday is when an area of high pressure is going to be building directly overhead, and that's going to allow those high temperatures to warm up San Jose, like I showed you, mid 80s. Inland East Bay communities, widespread mid to lower 90s. And it's likely going to stay that way through the middle parts of August. Long-range models are showing these above average temperatures continuing, so get ready for it and enjoy a more seasonable weekend of weather ahead of us. Well, it's another foggy start to our day, and it's going to be foggy all weekend long, but there are changes on the way. Starting Wednesday, you're going to be seeing even more sunshine along our coastal communities with warmer temperatures, but it's the inland areas that are going to be feeling more of that heat. We'll be seeing those high temperatures getting into the 90s and staying that way likely through the middle parts of August. Yes, our long-range models are pointing at these above-average conditions sticking around. Keep that in mind, and I would say enjoy the more comfortable heat in the fog while we can, because we are going to miss it once it starts to heat up.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to see some sun, too. All right, so if you ever get stuck in traffic around Lake Tahoe, there may soon be another option for you.
Yes, a futuristic ferry could skim across the lake and cut your commute time in half. In a prototype, it is already turning heads. This electric boat, it does not just glide, it lifts right out of the water. A trip will probably cost you about $50 per passenger, and you will get from north to south shore in just 30 minutes. You can even travel with your skis, bikes, and all. The hydrofoil design means there is no wake, less noise, and minimal effect on the environment. Love that. The man behind it says he has one big dream.
Personally, my dream would be to be able to snowboard at Heavenly, for example, fly across the lake in 30 minutes, and then snowboard at North Star all under the same day.
It's a pretty good way to do it. California's Fly Tahoe and the Swedish tech company Candela plan to launch the 30-passenger boat by next year. Just looking at that, it's just cool to see that. It's amazing to see how far technology has come in just the past couple of years. It just looks like something like you would have seen in a movie.
Exactly, and that's the only way that I think that Lake Tahoe would ever allow it. No wake, because they want it to be as still as possible and less harmful to the environment. It's environmentally friendly. They want Tahoe to stay clear, Tahoe to stay blue. That's their big message. So let's keep Tahoe blue and get that ferry going. I'm excited.
North to South Shore would be pretty cool to do in a day without having to drive.
Yeah, I was about to say, I just went there a couple weeks ago, about an hour and a half. Yeah. So 30 minutes sounds a lot better.
All right, thank you for that, Zoe, and thank you for watching KPIX this morning. Don't forget the news continues all day on CBS News Bay Area. We'll be back here tomorrow morning bright and early at 6 o'clock. Have a great Saturday.